What we started the YaleSites project with is we wanted to build a design system. We wanted to work with the Office of the Printer at Yale. We wanted to work with the YaleSites team at Yale ITS, and we wanted 4Kitchens to be involved in the creation of a design system that could represent Yale in the digital space in a way that both captured brand identity, but allowed flexibility and expression within that system.
One of the goals that we still have and still are working on till this day is having a design system that works with Drupal, but can also be extended to a JavaScript library or just be a React library in the future. So a lot of the effort in the early days, so in the first year or so, was just creating that design system, understanding the needs of our users of what web components do they need, and creating a library of all that. Within Yale, there are some custom applications that can't live in Drupal but want to have that visual identity of Yale. And we had kind of an issue of telling them, like, what is the visual identity on the web for Yale, and what components could they use and what could they look like? And that was definitely something that we were pretty sure that we wanted to have a design system that kind of talks to Drupal but can also kind of be its own thing.
So what we've done is we've taken that wild west open, you can do what you want, add what you want. We've then shifted to a content strategy where we want the platform to be flexible, but then also provide flexibility within the platform. And so one way that we've locked it down but created flexibility at the same time is by using levers and dials. I don't need to know CSS anymore to make things on my page look unique and interesting.
The levers and dials in the design system are an excellent way to build in flexibility and complexity without just overburdening the user. It was incorporated in a very intuitive way. So things like colors and theming, you could really easily just pull up a setting. You have a little sidebar. You can switch colors in real time and see all of these changes taking place on your site. So it was very visual and intuitive for folks. They didn't have to go back and forth to figure out what the changes would be. They could see, oh, when I change this particular setting, now the image has moved. Now this has a bit more prominence. We've switched from plain text to a button, and I really think that would work better. It allowed more creative expression because they could personalize different sections of their website, but it's all within approved Yale colors and branding and accessible.
The beauty of this platform is right now it's a storytelling tool, but component-based libraries on top of this means that the world's our oyster. It's not quite headless Drupal, right? But it's somewhere in between. In other words, where we have this whole component layer on it, which will give us a lot more bang for our buck for the user interface.
One big pain point in our old platform is that we did have like a few different options as to like the theme, but essentially they looked exactly the same. It was blue with white text and very boxy. And one of our goals is to make sure that our users can feel empowered to be individualized and have options to represent their group or their organization or their department based on how they feel they are and have that representation. So
there's an open source project that 4Kitchens sponsors called Emulsify, and that was used by YaleSites. What Emulsify is a tool set used for creating design systems. Okay, what it does is it allows you to connect a Figma design file to coded up components within the HTML and CSS and displayed in a nice storybook instance, and also provides templates for connecting those components directly to Drupal. So it is basically kind of like a glue that keeps everything together. And on YaleSites, we used Figma to create the initial design system. We exported the tokens and values for that design system and put it into the code part of Emulsify. The code part of Emulsify has then been used to display the various components so that developers can see what their work is doing and also provide accessibility testing. If we decide that we need a new component within the system, that can be designed and added to Emulsify and reviewed reviewed very quickly. It can be tested both independently within the component library of Emulsify and within the greater suites of like larger pages. Like we can add to the basic page example, whatever this new component might be, and we're able to review it with users without having to deploy it to Drupal first, because we just fire up the Emulsify instance and have users review that and have them user test it. So using Emulsify really streamlines adding, updating, and removing features.
And so Emulsify has been helpful for us in kind of bridging that gap and taking what we have in Storybook in the front end and knitting it together in Drupal.
So within Emulsify, we have all of those same levers and dials within the Emulsify design system. And so we're able to make all of the same choices that they do on the back end and see how that will impact all of those pages.
They don't have to worry about branding because branding is baked in thanks to the design system. Users can focus more on their content, how best to present it to accomplish their goals, and just sort of assemble pieces rather than worrying about code or satisfying accessibility requirements, because that's all baked into the system.
It has been a great boon to YaleSites to use Emulsify and be able to get all of that benefit and to start with that step up and to have that system in place to connect the code with the design to Drupal, and it's amazing.
Seeing all that come together and getting to see folks now using the platform and not struggling with things because of all of the work the YaleSites team and the 4Kitchens team put in was just really rewarding.